The world of the Knights of the Round Table have been saved, Merlina defeated, and Sonic named the true King Arthur.
Me? Huh? Hey, cut that out!
But what the story didn't tell you is that Sonic was given a choice: stay in this world and rule Camelot, or go home back to his friends. You can probably guess which one he picked, considering the future events of the timeline. But what if that wasn't the case? What if Sonic stayed in Camelot? Before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe, as I'm trying to make more content and reach 1K by the end of the year. But without further ado, on to the video. So Sonic, which will it be? Rule this kingdom, or be free with the wind in your world? The kingdom does need a ruler, my king. Well, I do want to keep this world safe, but I do want to keep my world safe too. If you stay, you can return at any time. It will be as if nothing ever happened. You can rule this world however long you want. Well, okay. I'd love to see more of what this world has to offer. So Sonic decides to stay and rule as the one and true King Arthur. And first order of business? Some food. He's starving. Everyone decides to go back to the city and hold a feast with all of its citizens. This world finally can be at peace. But peace can never stay for too long, as dark forces may be laying in wake, waiting for their time to shine.
So, the Black Knight has been defeated. Interesting. With that oath gone, I can finally lay wake my era of destruction. My warlock, grab some soldiers and head for the kingdom of Camelot. The darkness will come for them all.
As you wish, my lord.
Sonic and the others finally finish their feast, delighted on the cuisine Camelot has to offer. But their joy has to stop for now, as a lookout spots a shadow of darkness covering the horizon. Something's on its way. Sonic commands Lancelot to come with him, and for Percival, Gwaine, and Merlina to stay behind and protect the castle. They make their way to the deep woods, as they spot some darklings attacking innocent civilians. They defeat them with ease and tell them to go into the castle. But unfortunately for the knights, a powerful opponent makes his face, or well, mask I guess, known.
Sir Sonic, Knight of the Wind, and Sir Lancelot, Knight of the Round Table, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Who are you, demon? To what is the purpose of this darkness?
His darkness wants control, power, destruction. It is of nothing but a force of nature. You cannot stop him.
Stop who?
Perhaps I've said too much, and for that, you shall take it to your grave. Nothing will stop the chaos from taking over.
So Sonic and Lancelot fight the Dark Warlock, his power unbridled, terrifying, and corrupting?
Huh? What's happening to me?
Lancelot gets snagged by one of the Warlock's copies, as his magic starts to consume his mind, turning Lancelot into one of the Oni's many dark henchmen. Lancelot! Snap out of it! Perhaps he's too far gone, my lord. You'll need to fight your way through him. Sonic doesn't want to fight his fellow knight, and with the Warlock's great strength and magic, it'll be too much for him. So he blasts right past the two and runs further into the forest. Sonic gets chased by Dark Lancelot, his speed matching his, but his strikes become more sloppy, as if his tactical intelligence went with his humility. Sonic manages to trick Lancelot into crashing into a nearby tree, giving him some time to escape. He makes it to the Misty Lake, as the darkness hasn't spread there yet. He goes up to the lake, where the lady herself appears, warning Sonic about the danger he just got himself into. She explains that the darkness has been formed by an evil Oni named Mephiles. His one true purpose in life? To destroy everything in his path. No one shall be spared within his sight. Absolutely terrified by this guy, Sonic asks her what he should do. She believes that he needs to round up the sacred swords once more, and that would be the only way to stop him. Excalibur's light should be able to cut through the Oni's darkness.
Well, there isn't anything Excalibur can't cut through.
So Sonic thanks the Lady of the Lake and prepares to head off back into the castle. But before she does, she casts a spell on him to make him invulnerable to all darkness corruption. Wait, shouldn't you just do this to the whole kingdom? I'm not as strong as someone like Merlina, but even then, the spell can only work on one person at a time.
Talk about a bummer.
Callie, don't talk like me. So Sonic, really, this time, heads off to the castle, hoping the others can hold off until then. Though as Sonic approaches the castle, he sees that it's been completely taken over by darkness. Thankfully though, Caliburn tells Sonic that he can't sense any of the sacred swords in the castle. That's a relief. He doesn't know where specifically his knights went off to, but he might know where to look. Sonic makes his way through the Titanic Plain into the Great Megalith, fighting many Darklings, trying to find Sir Gawain. The trolls that used to inhabit this area have now all since left due to the darkness. He finds his way to the area he fought Gawain in, hoping that he hasn't been corrupted by the darkness. Gawain, there you are! Doing okay? We gotta head back to the castle.
This darkness will destroy all. You will not stop him.
Oh great, it got to you too?
The Dark Oni is my new king, and you will not live long enough to see his rule.
So Gawain lunges at Sonic, attacking him just like last time. The fight takes place the exact same way as before. He charges at Sonic, swinging Galantine around like a madman. Well, I mean, in this case he kind of is. Sonic tries to talk him out of it, and blocks all of his attacks. But his newfound dark strength is giving him the edge. He tells Gawain about his kingdom, his fellow knights, his people, the people he's sworn to protect. Sonic then tricks Gawain into a counter, knocking him to his butt, severing the connection between him and the Dark Oni.
My king! Heavy apologies for the aggression. I was attacked by that warlock and his clones. This mutiny will not be tolerated. Only death will clear the stain upon my honor.
Oh, come on, not this again. How many times am I gonna have to go through this with you? So Sonic gives Gawain back his sword, and tells him to go back to the castle. Merlina's magic should be protecting it for now. He heads back to the deep woods. However, Lancelot is going to be one heck of a challenge. He makes it back to the deep woods, and into the shrouded forest where Lancelot should be. The darkness is very potent here, as the dark magic from the forest only amplifies the power of the Oni. But he makes it to the location of where he had his rematch with the knight, but he doesn't find him anywhere. Caliburn tells him that he can't sense Erendite around anywhere, nor anywhere in this entire forest. Huh, that's weird. I wonder where he could be. So he doesn't mind it for now, as he makes it to the Outlands, where Percival and Levatine should be. Little did they know, the fires of the Outlands offer a great home for the spawn of darkness himself. The kingdom of Camelot has been struck with darkness. With a powerful Oni and his dangerous warlock, the Knight of the Wind and his Knights of the Round Table have gotten their hands quite full. Sonic has defeated the mighty Dark Gawain, and has rescued him from his control under the Dark Oni. He makes his way to the Shrouded Forest, but can't find Lancelot anywhere. So he heads to the Outlands, hoping Percival can hold out for long enough. The fiery pits of the Outlands, where erupting volcanoes, lava lakes, and a certain Oni like to reside. Percival makes it to the Outlands, through the molten mine, making her way through all the tricky tracks, falling lava, and darklings, almost falling into the molten rock below. She makes it into the cauldron, the heat from the environment nearly getting to her, the dark presence nearing ever closer. She ends up at a cliffside, No, the cliffside. The one that Sonic rescued her from last time. She doesn't know why she's been called here, but she stands her uneasy guard.
So, you're the so-called Knight of the Grail, Sir Percival.
She hears an intimidating voice, trying to find where it's coming from.
This is where you fought Sonic, no? How would you like to fight him again?
I'm not going to succumb to your evil rule, demon. Surrender your darkness and leave this land at once.
You stumble into my home, reject my offer, and tell me to leave? No. You're going to have to prove you're worthy enough to live in my new empire, let alone under my rule.
So Mephiles comes out of the shadows, quite literally, and launches a dark spear right towards her. She dodges out of the way just in time before she becomes a skewer like somebody else.
Let the fires of Iblis swallow you whole!
Mephiles uses his dark magic to conjure a giant flaming darkling, resembling a flaming monster from another universe, as it attacks Percival. His fire destroys the area around him, sending her tumbling into the lava below. But suddenly, someone grabs her hand, saving her once again. Got you! You okay? Percival looks up in shock, as she sees someone she's only seen murals and heard stories of in Camelot Castle. You're... Yeah, I'm Sir Galahad. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Apologies for the wait. This demon's quite the challenge. So Galahad and Percival try making their way out of the Outlands to regroup, but Mephiles surrounds him with clones of himself. He won't let them get away from this. They manage to fight off the clones, as Galahad uses his telekinesis to disperse Iblis back into the lava. But he won't be down for long. As they escape the Outlands and head their way to the Misty Lake, they run into Sonic, who's relieved with the fact that she's not controlled by the darkness, and shocked that they have silver in this universe too. They make it to the Misty Lake, run into Nemu, and they all catch up on everything that's happened so far, and continue the plans of gathering everyone to the castle. But before they go, Sonic has a question. Wait, Galahad! Where were you this whole time? How come you didn't help when the Black Knight ruled? I couldn't serve under a king whose dark hands clutched everything in its grasp. So I fled, off to other kingdoms, helping those who needed it. However, there is another who also left his kingdom when I did. No clue where he's at though. With that, everyone heads back to the castle to continue their plans. But one night won't let that happen. The group heads off back to Camelot Castle, trying to make it there as quickly as possible. Merlina can't hold off the darkness with her magic for much longer. Come on guys, the castle isn't much further. However, their trek is interrupted, because they feel an ominous presence behind them. They turn around to discover a silhouette of a dark figure behind them. Mephiles? Infinite? No, even worse. Dark Lancelot appears out of the shadows, pun intended, and immediately attacks the group with no hesitation. He gives them the fight of their life, immediately knocking everyone to the side as he goes straight to Sonic. Yeah, it's me he wants, guys! You guys go! I ran away for long enough! I'm helping! So Percival runs back to the castle to help out Merlina and Gwen, while Sonic and Galahad fight Lancelot. But as they continue to fight, the two hedgehogs realize the greatest knight of the Round Table has been getting stronger, learning their attack patterns, evolving. His body starts to transform as the darkness goes deeper into his soul, transforming him into a true Oni.
All will fall to me. I'm not showing mercy anymore.
His movements become sharper, attacks hit harder, until the two of them can't hold him back anymore, so they decide to run. However, Lancelot is just too fast, and knocks them to the ground, not letting them go. As he's about to finish them off, something kicks him to the side, saving both of them. Oh wow! Perfect timing! Thanks for saving us! No problem. Anything for a fellow knight. With Lamric now in the scene, he'll help in this fight. No, you two go. I'll hold him off long enough for you guys to escape. Absolutely not. You're our king, and I'll hold him off with my magic. So Sonic reluctantly agrees and heads off to the castle, while Lamric and Galahad fight elite Lancelot. But Galahad has an idea. As Lamric distracts him, Galahad uses his telekinesis to trap Lancelot in psychic energy, and throws him as hard and far away as possible. With that, Lamric and Galahad head off to the castle, where hopefully the castle can defend for long enough.
Those pests. So, even the power of the Oni can't protect you from magic like that? Interesting. That Galahad is a tough opponent indeed. Maybe I'll see to him myself. But enough of this prattle. We have further plans to attend to.
Everyone finally makes it to the castle. The gang's finally back together. However, there's no time to relax, because the castle's under siege by Darklings. The Knights of the Round Table finally make it into the castle, seeing a flood of Darklings ravage it. With haste, Sonic leads the charge and manages to storm in. They thankfully save all the civilians that were in the castle, as well as driving off most of the Darkling flood. However, Merlina's nowhere to be found, so Sonic goes further into the castle while Galahad follows after, with the rest making sure no more dark forces can enter the castle walls. The two head deeper into the castle, eventually making it into the sewer where they encountered more Darkling stragglers who managed to escape, along with Merlina's unconscious body. Looks like those guys were responsible for dragging her down here, but why? What would some Darklings want with her?
To use her as a distraction. Now that I have you here, it's time for one last duel. One you won't walk away from.
So Sonic and Lancelot begin an epic duel down in the sewers. Yeah, not an ideal place for one, but what are you gonna do? As their swords clash, the sparks from the clashing metal light up the dimly lit area, Sonic barely being able to see. He carefully manages to lead Lancelot into a bigger area, a giant circular platform with a river of water flowing around it like a moat. Their duel continues, but Lancelot has the upper hand. He knocks Sonic close to the edge, the rapid flow of water making it impossible for any poor sap to escape once fallen in. Perfect for a quick disposal. But right as Lancelot charges in to push Sonic over the edge, Galahad arrives quickly and holds him in place with his telekinesis, giving Sonic the perfect opportunity to recover. Galahad can't hold him in place forever though, because in a rage, Lancelot charges at Galahad, sword raised and coming at him at full speed. However, they say that history doesn't repeat, but it echoes, because with that, Galahad freezes him in place with his magic and kicks him in the back of the head, knocking him over the edge. Man, that felt good. I don't know why. Whatever. With that, Lancelot gets swept out into the river, going who knows where. After this epic final duel, Sonic and Galahad manage to wake the sorceress and get back to the courtyard. The group greets their return, as Merlina warns that this is only the beginning. She explains that the army of Darklings were only a distraction to break through the barrier by force, using shadows to weaken the defenses, so that Lancelot can sneak in and take Merlina out himself and get his revenge against Sonic at the same time. However, thanks to Sonic and Galahad's victory, hope still persists. Little do they all know, this small battle is about to become an all-out war. As everyone collects themselves and tries to make a plan of attack, they hear a loud rumbling sound coming from the distance, and a booming voice that can be heard for miles.
For too long you whelps been a thorn to our side. You've defeated our strongest soldier, and caused so much trouble for me and my lord. It is time that you will perish under the full might of my infinite power.
A storm of red cubes and giant creatures that bear resemblance to the warlock himself start overwhelming the castle and the entire surrounding area. With his influence spreading as far as the eye can see, his overwhelming power shakes the very fabric of the kingdom. He then summons an army of clones of himself, charging at full force at the castle. With the heroes on guard, Merlina puts up another protection spell around the castle to hold off the clones. However, it's too weak from the amount of clones and the fact that she's just recovering, so it lets in some little by little. Protect the castle! Make sure none of them get to Merlina or the civilians! The fight rages on, with an infinite amount of clones slowly wearing down the Knights of the Round Table. Galahad then tells them that they need to go to the source and find the real Infinite. Unfortunately, none of them will be able to do that, as Merlina is too busy holding up the protection spell in the castle. So Galahad takes it into his own hands, leaves the castle, charging headfirst in the swarm of chaos Infinite created. It's finally time for him to shine. As he flies through the horde of clones, taking down giant monstrous creatures that resemble the Warlock, he uses his magic to feel for his dark presence. He eventually finds him and immediately starts attacking him. The Warlock is no slouch, as he makes it known to Galahad he doesn't intend to hold back for even a second. As the two fly through the air, their clashing attacks shake the very being of the world around them. The two use their magic to their full potentials, causing the world to distort around them. The heroes back at the castle manage to defend the horde still, but also see in awe as the world they know it warps around them. No one knows who's going to win this battle, as the two warriors are equally matched. Infinite then stops playing with his food, as he lets out all his power, and transforms into a dark samurai. Galahad, at this point, stands no chance, as Infinite's way too fast and has too much raw power. Though, as the two launch their most powerful attacks at each other, a void of pure magical energy forms around them, sucking everything in sight into it. With this, Galahad feels an overwhelming dark presence forming near him, as Mephiles was just using this as the perfect opportunity to make himself known.
I have no more use for you, fool. Begone!
As he forms next to Galahad, smacking him away, he uses his spear to impale Infinite straight through the chest.
But why?
He then gets absorbed into Mephiles' very being, forming him into a horrific monstrosity only seen in the endless dark void. Speaking of, he uses this opportunity and flees into the void, the darkness being the battery to amp up his already immense power. Galahad lands somewhere nearby, as he's extremely wounded from battle, his magic being the only thing to keep him further from harm. Nearby, though, he's rescued by none other than Lancelot, who's been freed from his Oni control and was healed by the Lady of the Lake, who found him washed up in the Misty Lake shortly after him and Sonic's duel. Lancelot then takes Galahad back to the Misty Lake to have him rest up with him and Nemu, as they come up with a plan of attack. After they rest up, they decide to head back to the castle to help their fellow knights. Back at the castle, as the clones dissipate, everything else starts getting sucked into the void. As the civilians panic, Sonic immediately jumps to action. Once Galahad and Lancelot show up, Sonic tells the knights to get all the civilians to safety, far away from the castle. Unfortunately, there was no time, as the void was expanding at an alarming rate. With no time to save them, Sonic then directs his loyal knights to give him the power of the sacred swords once again, knowing that the light will be able to cut through the darkness. With that, the golden light envelops him, giving him the power of Excalibur once again. You ready for round 2, Callie? As ready as you are, my king. Alright, let's do this! As he charges headfirst into the void, the kingdom cheers on with all his might. He flies through the void, their presence being the only thing to fill up this infinite null space. Get it? But then, a dark presence forms around him, conjugating into a giant dark demonic force. This is the Oni's true form, the infinite darkness.
Your feeble flicker of light is nothing compared to the inky, infinite black void.
Well, luckily for you, Excalibur's might is unmatched! As this epic battle pursues, every swing of Excalibur slashes at the void, weakening it, as well as the Oni's influence. The Oni's attacks, while powerful, are nothing to Sonic, as he puts his full might into one big attack, as he drives his sword right into the Oni, engulfing the darkness with light.
No! Your light should have been snuffed out! How?
Because there's nothing Excalibur can't cut through.
No!
After the defeat of the Oni, the void dissipates, and Sonic lands back at the castle, being met with thunderous applause. That was awesome! Marvel, I suppose. Sonic then walks up to Merlina, with her congratulating him on his victory. Congratulations on your victory, my king. No sweat! However, before they're even able to finish their thought, a portal appears behind Sonic. Huh? What's this? Sonic's world needs him, and he knows this. So he gathers all of his knights, Nemu and Merlina, around him, and says his goodbyes. But the kingdom needs a ruler, so Sonic appoints none other than Lancelot to pass down his rule. As the denizens of Camelot cheer, Sonic knows that with Lancelot, the kingdom would be in good hands. So he takes Caliburn, waves goodbye, and goes back to his world, where more adventures are on the horizon. And that is where we're going to end this series, guys. Thank you so much for watching. There's a little bit of ad-lib here. Yeah, I'm sorry that I've been gone for so long. I went on vacation, then I got insanely sick, and then a bunch of stuff around the holidays happened. And yeah, there's a lot of personal life stuff going on right now, but I'm back, so I can make more videos, and I just want to pump out as many videos as I can. So let me know what you guys want. There's gonna be a couple more what if stories that I want to tell. They're kind of short, but really good. And yeah, I got some really big news. Hopefully the beginning of next year I'll be able to share with you. But yeah, I really appreciate all the support, and thank you so much for getting me to where I am right now. And I really appreciate it. But yeah, look forward to all the videos we got in the future. And if you've listened this far, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And like always, peace out, guys.